It's Thursday, October 2nd.
You don't want officers with added stress of how am I going to pay my bills.
No end in sight to the U.S. government shutdown with border delays this morning and now mass layoffs expected to start soon.
The dam has been around for about 30 years, and so with any major infrastructure, upgrades need to happen.
Rafferty Dam near Estevan receiving $15 million in infrastructure upgrades.
Down below the goal line for Edmonton, Hodnett walks his way up top, hands it off to Yeko. To the side of the net, centering pass, they score. What a play by...
The WHL season in full swing. The Regina Pats still searching for their first win. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Janelle Lefay. Thanks for starting your day with us.
So when the backup weather person comes in, either the main weather person left you with good temperatures or really bad, like are you the bearer of bad news?
I might
And
be.
Keelan's just somewhere sheltering in place?
A little bit, but for those who love fall, I've got great news for you.
Oh, got to get those fall photos, right?
Yes, that's right.
Fall photos. We also got to get your news update, so let's get to that right now. Striking Canada Post workers held a National Day of Action. Workers held rallies on Parliament Hill and across the country. The strike was called after Ottawa announced a series of service cuts aimed at putting Canada Post back on solid financial ground. The CEO of Canada Post has put out an open letter supporting the proposed measures. As the two sides dig in, the provinces and communities are making backup plans. Saskatchewan's premier says he's in support of Alberta's renewed push for a new oil pipeline to the west coast. Alberta made the proposal themselves, with plans to submit a formal application under the federal government's major projects mandate. It will work with 3 Canadian crude pipeline operators, Enbridge, Trans Mountain, and South Bow. Consultations with Indigenous groups along with potential pipeline routes have already begun. Scott Moe posted Wednesday that he supports the move, saying it opens new markets for Canada's economy and creates opportunities to advance Canada's national interests. We are learning more this morning about Saskatoon's latest homicide. Police say a 16-year-old boy was part of a fight that took place between 3 people in a parking lot on the 300 block of Confederation Drive at about 3:30 Sunday morning. The teen was taken to St. Paul's Hospital where he died of his injuries. A 22-year-old man is now charged with second-degree murder, a 20-year-old man charged with manslaughter in the boy's death. This is Saskatoon's 8th homicide of the year. Regina's executive committee says Real District's request to relocate a portion of its funding, reallocate part of its funding rather, is a step in the right direction. At Wednesday's meeting, the council committee unanimously approved city administration's recommendation to allow Real to move $850,000 of its debt funding to support operating shortfalls in the budget year, as well as to reallocate almost $200,000 of its unused 2024 capital funding for use in 2025. The redistribution does not include any new funding from the city.
Through cash flow management, through earlier payment timing from the city, lower interest rates, we're going to be better than expected on that spending. And we're thinking that, it'd be prudent to move that $850,000 over to operating in order to pay down our line of credit that has been built up over the course of previous administrations and to get Real back in a financially healthy spot.
The executive committee also voted in favor of recommending the city invest over $700,000 toward Regina's Taylor Field redevelopment project. The money will be used to start planning the early stages of redesigning the site, along with getting infrastructure in place. Administration says the funding comes from Regina's Land Development Reserve. A Saskatchewan fire chief says fire departments are being called upon more often to manage homeless encampments. North Battleford Fire Chief Lindsay Holm recently returned from the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs conference over in Winnipeg, representing our province. He says cities across the country are experiencing the same challenges as here.
We also had some good discussion about federal and provincial funding for our organizations, just to be able to mitigate some of the issues that we are having, because it does take a considerable amount of staff time to be able to deal with homelessness and encampments in particular.
Holmes says part of the issue is that people living in encampments need alternative options to access safe, low-barrier places to stay. City of Regina will be conducting its 5th annual point-in-time homeless count today. It's a nationally coordinated effort to better understand the scope and nature of homeless communities. Namarand Housing Corporation is leading the charge on this. It's a snapshot of a single day. Trained volunteers will engage with people experiencing all forms of homelessness, which can include staying in shelters, using detox centers, or sleeping outside. The hope is that the data will help better shape a response to homelessness. Mass layoffs of U.S. federal workers are said to be imminent, with no end in sight to the government shutdown.
We are going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to save money in some places so that essential services don't get turned off in other places.
The shutdown started yesterday after Republicans and Democrats failed to agree on a new spending plan. And there isn't much hope that either side is willing to compromise at this point. A vote to end the shutdown failed just hours after it began, and a next attempt will happen tomorrow. President Donald Trump had previously warned that a prolonged shutdown could leave him with the opportunity to make irreversible cuts to, quote, Democrat things. People in Bermuda are being told to stay indoors this morning after the island took a direct hit from Hurricane Imelda overnight. There are about 16,000 power outages reported across the island. The eye of the hurricane passed just to the south of Bermuda about 4 hours ago. The winds on the back half of the storm hit for a few more hours. Conditions are now improving. The airport is back open today, and there is minimal reports of major damage. Earlier this week, Bermuda had also received a brush from Hurricane Umberto. More people are being told to leave their homes as the Lake George wildfire burns in Nova Scotia.
These woods in Kings County should not have been open. And I'm bitter. Yes, I'm bitter, and I'm tense because everything I own is right next to the fire.
The fire has grown to 290 hectares and is considered to be out of control. So far, there have been no reports of homes or buildings damaged. Officials say they think the fire was started by human activity. Burn bans remain in effect in Annapolis County. The province has extended wildfire season to the end of the month. Crews in New York are inspecting an apartment building in the Bronx after part of it fell off in dramatic fashion. Take a look.
Billy just fell, huh? Billy just fell.
Dramatic video there. The building's chimney, which runs 20 stories high, fell to the ground yesterday morning. The bricks fell on the sidewalk and a playground while sending dust and debris all over the block. Amazingly, no one was injured. New York's fire chief says there may have been an explosion in the boiler shaft, but investigators have not determined an exact cause yet. Officials say it will take time to clear the debris and reconnect the building's utilities. And some more incredible video to show you of Kilauea volcano's latest eruption. Take a look at your screen, whatever you're doing. The volcano began erupting just after midnight, sending fountains of molten rock 100 meters into the air. This eruptive activity is confined to a crater in a national park and will not impact air traffic. Located 322 kilometers south of Honolulu, Kilauea is the most active volcano in the world, with this being the 34th in a string of recent eruptions. The Regina Pats are still looking for their first win of the season.
Down below the goal line for Edmonton. Hodnett walks his way up top, hands it off to Yeko. To the side of the net, centering pass, they score. What a play.
That was Edmonton Oil Kings captain Gavin Hodnett's first of the season and gave the visitors a 2-0 early lead. The Pats did make a late push to draw within one, but that was as close as they would get. Edmonton wins 4-3. The Pats back in action in Swift Current on Saturday. How about that video of that volcano? I just love seeing natural disaster type stuff like that when everything's okay.
It's amazing. Such a beautiful shot, too. Nature is incredible, isn't it?
Not that hot here, though.
No, unfortunately, not quite that hot here. We are starting to see our temperatures get a little bit lower here as we get more into fall. That'll reflect especially into next week. But let's take a look right now here. This is Regina, 5 degrees currently. We are expecting to see that sun come out today. A little bit of a breeze moving through the city as well. 1 degree in in Saskatoon. So again, we're seeing those temperatures begin to drop. A little bit hazy out there as well. We will see some clouds in the sky for our Saskatoon friends today, but things will clear up as we roll into the weekend. Now let's take a look over at our futurecast. So as you can see here up towards the north of the province, today around 9:15-ish this morning, so pretty early on, we will start to see some precipitation up towards the north once again. However, for the rest of Saskatchewan, just some cloud movement rolling through for most of today and into tomorrow. Now for current temperatures throughout the province, Buffalo Narrows 7 degrees, Stony Rapids 3, South End 8, Spiritwood 10, Melfort 7 degrees, Battleford's 3. Now we've got Kindersley and Saskatoon at 1 degree. So again, those temperatures are getting a little bit lower. Moose Jaw, however, 11 degrees, Weyburn 5, and Estevan 7. Now for our highs today across Saskatchewan, the Battlefords will be seeing about 18 degrees. A little bit of a haze in the sky though. Prince Albert 17, some clouds moving through along with Saskatoon at 21 degrees. Yorkton seeing 23 and lots of beautiful sunshine. Weyburn 26 and lots of beautiful sunshine as well. Now let's take a look over at our 5-day forecast. So today in Regina, we'll be hitting about that 24-degree mark for our high. Some cloud cover moving through the sky as well. And as we roll into Friday, we'll start to see some precipitation on the way. So 22 degrees as the high for tomorrow. Now we do have a fairly nice weekend ahead of us. 17 degrees on Saturday for our high. 9 degrees on Sunday, so a little bit cooler, but we will see quite a bit of sun. And over to Saskatoon today, 21 degrees as the high. Into tomorrow, 21 as well. Little bit of cloud cover in the sky, but lots of sunshine as well. And another beautiful weekend for our Saskatoon friends as well. 16 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday. Now Monday is when we'll start to see things cool off, especially in the evening. So 10 degrees as the high on Monday. Now we will be hitting about -3 on Monday. So that is something to be mindful of. If you're out and about Monday night, you might just want to grab a jacket.
A Regina medical clinic designed to keep patients out of emergency rooms will close next month. The Gardens Community Health Center opened in 2018 with extended hours and a multidisciplinary team of health professionals. But as Wayne Mantika tells us, an inability to recruit doctors is forcing the clinic to cease operations.
The Gardens Community Health Center was the first of its kind in Saskatchewan. Through a partnership with the SHA, the clinic offered a more comprehensive suite of services than a traditional physician's clinic. Now, 7 years after opening, a sign in the window says the clinic will cease operation at the end of November. The NDP estimate that 5,000 patients will be left without a family physician.
Now, the Sask Party has a choice here today. They can step up and do the right thing and do everything in their power to keep this clinic open in 2 months' time, or they can continue to fail Saskatchewan people.
During the 2018 clinic opening ceremony, the government said it would budget $4.3 million in the first year to support the clinic and a seniors house call team. $3 million would be allocated in subsequent years through the SHA partnership. 30 positions would be created.
There are 5,000 patients that we have heard at this clinic who are losing their family doctor. That is adding on to the 200,000 people in this province who don't currently have a family doctor. And that means that people are going to now end up in urgent care centers. They're going to end up at emergency rooms.
The SHA says programs it offered in conjunction with the clinic will continue from a yet-to-be-determined location. 3 staff are being retained. The Seniors House Call program was relocated and renamed during the pandemic. The clinic declined further comment. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Canada's top home cooks are ready to battle it out in the MasterChef Canada kitchen.
Here's a tip. People always say salt your pasta water like the sea. That would be at like 6% salinity. That's crazy. Do about half of that. You're going to be fine.
Make sure your pan is hot before you put your food inside. Always taste your food.
Add a splash of white wine vinegar in your mashed potatoes to make them taste way brighter.
Cutting herbs, roll them really.
So those are the faces you'll become familiar with this season. MasterChef Canada fans have waited a long time for this. The hit show returns tonight here on CTV, and we'll be speaking with the judges, Hugh Arkson and Mary Berg and Craig Wong, later on this morning. MasterChef fans know the home cooks often have a chance to make their signature dish, of course, as part of their first challenge on the show. So this morning, this does lead us into our question of the day.
Of course it does.
Yes, this morning we want to know, what is your signature dish?
What is your signature dish, Janelle Lippi?
Definitely
regale us.
Definitely not the soup I made a few weeks ago.
Skip the dishes? Is that what you're...
I love a frozen pizza.
Okay.
Pop it in the oven.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you make in real life?
In real life,
IRL,
lasagna.
Oh, you really?
I can make a really nice lasagna.
That's not yet shared with any of us.
Yeah.
You know who does a great job is Bailey, who's usually in the studio here with us. Incredible baker. I don't know what exactly she would bake for this competition, but we need to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. What is your signature dish? We'll take a live look outside as we head to break. We're back here in just a couple of minutes as we look over Victoria Avenue in Regina. Business News is next.
OpenAI has become the world's most valuable startup, taking the title from Elon Musk's SpaceX. This comes after the company completed a deal to help employees sell shares at a $500 billion valuation. Current and former OpenAI employees have reportedly sold about $6.6 billion of stock to investors. And the Alberta government has proposed to build a new oil pipeline to the BC coast. The pipeline would carry up to 1 million barrels of crude oil a day, which would then be exported to Asian markets. Premier Danielle Smith says she hopes the project could get federal approval as soon as next month. The European Union plans to hike tariffs on steel imports to 50%. That's according to a draft proposal that's seen by Bloomberg. The move will align the bloc's rate with the U.S. Currently, the EU has a 25% tariff in place on most imports. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Let's go on location. Join Mike Siona. You're setting up a brand new event, Mike. What's it all about?
Yeah.
I don't think his audio is working. Mike, do we have you?
Try to yell just better.
We don't have Mike. We'll get back to Mike in just a moment. Let's do our school day forecast. Janelle?
Right, well, let's take a look over. This is our school day forecast brought to you by CAA Saskatchewan School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. Now in Regina, 9 degrees by the time you get on the bus. You might want to grab a jacket. By lunchtime around noon, 21 degrees. Final bell 24, so it's turning out to be a beautiful day. Now in Saskatoon, a little bit colder at 6 degrees by the time you get on the bus, 17 at lunch, and final bell a beautiful 21 degrees.
We'll get back to Mike Siona just after the commercial break. But before we get there, your gas prices in Regina common cost is $1.35.9. That's true for both cities. Lowest price in Regina is $1.14.9. Lowest in Saskatoon, $1.24.9. Let's take a look at those farm markets. Street price of canola, $5.45.62 per ton this morning. Futures price jumped $3.50 yesterday. It's at $6.09.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat will trade at $2.74.93 per ton. Red Spring wheat dropped ever so slightly yesterday, currently sitting at $2.31.80 per ton. The Canadian dollar trading up ever so slightly to 71.83 cents U.S. Not much of a comfort if you're heading to the U.S. and have to pay that exchange rate. After the break, why PV Mart could be making a comeback in Saskatchewan and other places. We're back with Mike Siona live on location and your news update after this.
Let's check in with Mike Siona. Mike, what are you up to this morning?
Well, we are getting ready for a first of its kind, the Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience this weekend in Saskatoon. And I'm with the co-founders, who happen to be Justin Fetter and Carter Yell. And Carter, let's start with you, and let's just talk about the whole idea behind this Card and Collector Experience that's coming.
Yeah, so Justin and I are lifelong collectors, and we wanted to bring a show to Saskatchewan for the collectors here. So we brought in Brian Trottier, Tim Shovelday, collectors across and vendors across the country to sell Pokemon, sports cards, sports memorabilia, vintage clothing, toys, Lego, just everything that's collectible will be there at Prairieland Park. So
I love that. Now, yeah, you mentioned that it's a Prairieland Park. Justin, this thing is going to be big. How big? What do we expect to see on the weekend?
Over 100 vendors coming. We're hoping to pack the place. A largest event of its kind in Saskatchewan.
Now, you've been to events like this, I assume, elsewhere. What was it that kind of was missing here in Saskatchewan that made you guys say, hey, we need to do this here?
Yeah, I've been across the country to events, and the one thing I wanted to bring back to Saskatchewan was just the experience. I loved making connections with people, creating a network of contacts to find things. I want the people here to experience that.
Fantastic. Now, this thing runs, I think, Saturday and Sunday. Give us the hours, give us the details. How do we get down there?
Yeah, Saturday at 10 o'clock until 7, and then there's early bird access at 9:30. If you pay a little extra, you get be first ones in the door, get that holy grail that you wanted, and then Sunday it's 10 to 5.
And that's interesting that you mentioned that early access, because in shows like this, I mean, there's one of something, and you want it, you got to get there early. How big of a lineup do you expect to see early on?
Well, we have 3 lines starting, so we'll get there early and get in there. So, and the earlier you get there, the more door prizes you have a chance to win. So,
okay, fantastic, really, really cool. We're going to talk all about everything that's going on there, and talk maybe you've got some cards and you want to monetize them. They might have something for you as well. We'll talk about it a little later on this morning.
Let's get to your headlines for this part of the hour. Quebec's public security minister says a deadly shooting in Laval appears to be linked to organized crime. It happened in broad daylight at a coffee shop. 1 person was killed, 2 others injured. The city's police chief says fighting organized crime is a priority.
We're going to target strategic targets to be sure that the organized crime understand that we're going to be there, we're going to follow them.
A police spokesperson says a man in his 40s died in the brazen shooting. His identity has not been released. Police are not confirming multiple reports that a man nicknamed Bobby the Greek, a high-profile organized crime boss, is the victim. Police say for now there's no evidence any innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire. Delta Airlines is now looking into what happened after 2 of its jets collided at New York's LaGuardia Airport. This one happened last night. The wing of one aircraft slammed into the cockpit windows of the other. One of the planes had 57 passengers on board, and the other had 28 at the time. The incident did not impact airport operations. Officials say 1 person was taken to hospital. 1 week after the release of a federal audit that flagged more than $34 million in spending by the FSIN, the organization is sharing its side of the story. Keenan Sorokon reports.
The FSIN says it categorically rejects the suggestion that millions of dollars in expenses are unaccounted for. It remains confident and optimistic Indigenous Services Canada will find that all expenditures are eligible. The FSIN has still not agreed to an interview, but sent media a 10-page release responding to each allegation it faces after Indigenous Services Canada flagged more than $34 million of spending as either ineligible, questionable, or unsupported. In the document, the FSIN says it handed over receipts and invoices for everything, but can't go through each expense because Indigenous Services has not provided them the full brief, only the summary that's available online, despite multiple requests. The FSIN alleges KPMG, who performed the audit, gave 10 days to respond to a list of over 700 questions and line items, which KPMG then took 10 weeks to review. The FSIN goes on to say KPMG did not include a number of documents and justifications FSIN provided last month before the summary report came out. The FSIN says it gave invoices and receipts for more than $23 million of COVID-19 funding that was flagged. It says funding flowed through the FSIN to each First Nation, and all spending followed funding agreements and was approved. The FSIN finished by saying it has a robust system of transparency and accountability developed over decades, and says the process followed by KPMG seems intended to set them up for failure. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Keenan, Jane Goodall is being remembered today as a true hero for our planet.
Being out in the wild, you know, back when I dreamed of it, there was nobody doing anything like that.
Goodall was a pioneer in primate research. She was known around the world as a leading female scientist for her groundbreaking work studying the personalities and emotions of chimpanzees. After seeing habitat devastation firsthand, Goodall turned her focus to climate advocacy. In a social media post, the Jane Goodall Institute said she died of natural causes while on a speaking tour in California. She was 91. An Estevan doctor is no longer able to practice medicine in the province following a disciplinary decision. The College of Physicians and Surgeons of Saskatchewan has barred Dr. Mehdi Ori from practicing after he was found guilty on 9 counts of professional misconduct by a hearing committee. Ori had his license revoked for 9 months in a previous case and has been suspended twice, once in 2019, again in 2023. He was also barred from seeing female patients last year. The reason for the college's decision are expected to be released following a meeting next month. Saskatoon's Midtown Mall is reporting a record sales year. The mall's general manager says sales are up 11% from last September, while foot traffic is up nearly 4%, totaling 4.3 million annual visitors. Ferris says the boost is partly due to 3 new stores in the mall and some other stores renovating or relocating. She says the closure of Hudson's Bay Company has not significantly had an impact.
I think we're holding pretty steady on our own. Certainly the Bay, had its own, customer base, and they will be missed, but we do continue to trend positively.
Tara Ferris, who you just heard from there, says she can't comment on the future of the Hudson's Bay location, but says there are plans in the works. PV Mart is now charting a comeback. After closing all of its stores earlier this year, the farm goods retailer says he now plans to open between 7 and 12 stores. It will target Alberta first with late fall openings. The company says it will also eventually open locations in other markets, including Saskatchewan, that it used to operate in. Rafferty Dam near Estevan receiving $15 million in infrastructure upgrades. The main focus is repairing the drainage system near the spillway, which will improve functionality during high flow times, costing $10 million. $2.5 million will be used to improve the diversion channel from the Boundary Dam, which will help maximize water capture rather than the water flowing into the sewers. Another $2.5 million was provided to the RM of Estevan to narrow Rafferty Road, which was initially built wider for construction of the dam, but is now costly to maintain.
The dam has been around for about 30 years, and so with any major infrastructure, upgrades need to happen to make sure it's safe. And so we recognized after the 2011 flood that some improvements needed to be done, and so that's why, as I said, about 5 years ago, we put in a plan to study the rehab of all of our major structures, and this being one of them.
Construction should finish this fall, expect to be ready for the spring. Newly released video shows the moment country star Morgan Wallen denied throwing a chair off a Nashville bar roof to police before his arrest in 2024. Officer video shows the singer on the phone with the co-owner of the bar and fellow country star Eric Church. The arrest itself and him back in the police car. Witnesses pointed to Wallen immediately as the culprit, which police said matched video evidence. 2 weeks after the incident, Wallen accepted responsibility on social media, later pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. The golden era of boy bands may have come and gone, maybe, but what if are you ready rather for a middle-aged boy band? The musical parody and comedy show features a boy band that never was at Regina's Dark Hall. Those behind the show say it's Whose Line Is It Anyway meets the Backstreet Boys with elements of improv.
You know, we see this sort of glamorous version of what boy bands are doing right now, like the Backstreet Boys in Vegas, but we're sort of like really doing what it might be actually like for people our age, you know, sore knees, aching backs, but then we put in some improv comedy as well to sort of like really make it an entertainment night.
Middle-aged boy band, if you're interested, taking the stage at Dark Hall in Regina tonight, 7:30. The group will also perform in Moose Jaw, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert. I know Janelle Lippi is excited to get there, but before we do that, we got to share a harvest picture. We love a good harvest picture on the show. How about this one from Marley and Vanskoy, Janelle?
Stunning. Look at that sun and everything in between. Beautiful shot. We love seeing the photos that you all send in.
Now we need a beautiful afternoon so those farmers can relax.
That's right. And today might be the day. It's going to be a little bit cooler, but we are heading into fall, so it is to be expected. We've had a beautiful summer. Let's take a look at what Regina's seeing at the moment. 5 degrees currently in the Queen City. A little bit of a breeze moving through. Again, that sun is coming up slowly but surely these days, so we will start to see that temperature climb as the sun comes out. We aren't expecting to see much for even cloud cover as today goes on. And if we take a look over in Saskatoon, still about that 1 degree mark, so a little bit chilly out. You might want to grab a jacket. Some haze in the sky as well, but as always, we'll see that temperature rise a little bit more. It's going to be a beautiful day regardless. So now let's take a look over at our futurecast up towards the north side of the province. A little bit of precipitation moving through earlier on this morning. However, for the rest of the day and even into Friday, just some cloud cover moving through. As for current temperatures today, Stony Rapids 3 degrees, Buffalo Narrows 7, La Ronge sitting at about 10 degrees, along with Hudson Bay, Melfort 7 degrees. The Battleford seeing 3 degrees, both Kindersley and Saskatoon again at that 1 degree mark. Moose Jaw already up to 11, Yorkton 8. Now for today's forecast, all of our highs today, the Battlefords will be seeing 17 degrees, a little bit hazy over in Saskatoon, 21. Some clouds moving through, but still beautiful sunshine. Moose Jaw 24 along with Regina, Weyburn 26 along with Estevan, and nothing but sunshine. So we do have a beautiful day ahead. However, as we roll into next week is when we'll start to see those temperatures start to lower. So today in Regina, 24 degrees as our high. Again, those clouds in the sky, those will come as the day goes on. However, for this morning, we are seeing clear skies. Now on Friday, a little bit of rain coming. We are expecting to see some showers, not heavy precipitation, some showers, 22 degrees as the high. Now into Saturday and Sunday, we'll start to see that sun coming back out. 17 degrees as the high on Saturday and 9 on Sunday. Over to Saskatoon, today 21 degrees as the high along with tomorrow. We've got nothing but sunshine over towards Saskatoon. Over the weekend, we'll be seeing that high of about 16 degrees and on Sunday 10 degrees. Now Monday, again, that sun is coming out, but something to be mindful of is we are starting to see these temperatures drop. So Monday evening, we'll be hitting about -3 degrees. You might want to grab a jacket if you're heading out. All right, and your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is holiday. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday in Fort. We head to the pitch. UEFA Champions League. Villarreal taking on Juventus. Off the throw-in, the ball deflects off ahead. And check out Federico Gatti, who scores a beautiful bicycle kick. The defender buries his first goal of the Champions League in style for Juventus. And they needed it as this one would end in a 2-2 draw. Gatti also earning your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN. Week 5 in the NFL kicks up. Huge NFC West showdown between the 49ers and Rams. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. An important stretch for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They're 2 games up on Calgary for first in the West Division, and they've got Ottawa and Toronto next, the 2 lowest teams as far as records are concerned. So they got to win these 2 and put themselves in good position. But they haven't been playing well, Wes, the last couple of games. So let's look at it. They've got Ottawa coming up here in Ottawa. Drew Brown will probably be quarterback, and if you go all the way back to week 1, he threw for over 400 yards against the Riders, and they keep being susceptible to those deep plays. Another game against Edmonton where they gave up at least 3 plus 30-yard passes.
Yeah, Lee, and just the way, like you mentioned it, the way the Riders have been playing has not been impressive. They get off to slow starts. They've had turnovers. They haven't really been able to finish. They actually did a good job of really trying to finish against Edmonton last week, but it was too little too late. I mean, you're down a couple scores and you battle back and give yourself a chance at the end, and then you have another mess up and don't really complete the 2-point play because of player error, not really because of any great play that the opposition made. So you take that into effect. Luckily, we're going into what you would call a weaker part of the schedule with Ottawa and Toronto coming up. But the way the league has been going right now, I wouldn't take any matchup as an automatic win. I mean, obviously Ottawa being at the bottom of the league, they better win. I mean, they got to get it together. The Riders do. I think they've been talking a little too much talk, not enough action out of the Riders right now. It's getting a little frustrating, I'm sure, for the fans, but for me as a former player watching, I'm like, what gives? Something's got to give. They've got to get off to better starts.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about a 10-4 team like this, but this is the way it is when you lose 2 games like this, when you should be up right now and Calgary's losing and you have a chance to expand your lead. Offensively, I'm getting concerned about Trevor Harris. There's just something about his game right now where it's off. He was overthrows, interceptions. What's your concern level right now?
I mean, I know mentally he's there. I know he sees the field fine, but I think he's a little hesitant. Maybe his body's talking to him. Maybe he's losing some strength. I don't know how his in-season workout is, but he looked like he just didn't have much on the balls that he threw. I remember distinctly the one in route to a Joe that he pretty much just threw at his feet when he was wide open, and then a couple of those just kind of lofting it over the middle. That's never the type. If you're throwing in the middle in traffic, Lee, you got to be zipping that ball in there, and he kind of just lofted a couple in the middle, and that's easy to tip or make one-handed catches with as a defender when you're just tossing it over the middle and not really, really trying to zip it in there and put it on the receiver. So just his decision making and giving the ball or putting the ball in harm's way hasn't been great, but like I said, he's still accurate, still understands concepts, and I feel like maybe he's just going through a little lull in the season, and hopefully he'll just pick it up just physically, because I know it's not a mental thing. I just think he's not putting it all together right now.
All right, well, in Ottawa this week, they've got to win this one. Ottawa with a record of 4-10, the reverse of the Riders. You got to take care of your chances and try to stay up 2 on Calgary. So we'll analyze that game, plus we'll get you prepared for their next home game against the Toronto Argonauts next week on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
It's October 2nd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We begin with a happy 11th birthday from Lily, or to Lily rather, from her family and her friends. Grandpa John is celebrating his 90th birthday. He's a musician who played a lot of music for retirement homes. Hopefully today someone is playing for you. And Marina's celebrating a birthday today as well. Lots of love from your whole family. Sheila, it's your birthday too. Have a great day from all of us here at CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan and your daughter. Happy 45th birthday going out to Keely today. Happy sweet 16 goes out to Drake. Good luck on that driver's license test. And happy 50th to Allison today from Giselle, Kirk, Carter, and Noah. Happy 7th birthday to Hudson. Love your grandparents. And last but of course not least, happy 20th anniversary to Suzanne and Clint. We hope you both enjoy your very special day together. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Please just make sure you're sending them at least one day in advance.
couples together 20 years. How many are you on right now?
How many what? Sorry, I missed that.
Married years.
Oh, married years? 20. Oh, boy. Oh, Brittany, I'm so sorry.
I think I'm at
14
7.
years.
Oh.
14 years together, married.
Okay.
23 together.
Wow.
So
that's
I know.
That's older than Janelle Lepie.
I'm only 29 years old, so I don't know how the math works. So
you know, small town Saskatchewan. That's how we do. What's going on the radio?
Lots, man. Oh my gosh. We're down to 2 days, 6 plays to win $1,200 right now. And every time the pot goes up $50 if we don't get the big money montage. So again, I'm putting you on blast right now. That's the alert sound. 6 more chances. We're done tomorrow at 9. If we don't get it, we'll go into blitz mode. So might as well just nail it coming up at 7 o'clock here. And then at 9 o'clock with me. Win the money. Let's get going. All the guesses are up on our website. We're playing for $1,200 for Marlin Travel Regina. And I just had a text at 54321. Someone said, hey, if I win, I'm taking you and Daryl out for some steaks. I wanted prime rib, but we'll see. So hopefully that person wins. Let's go.
Frankenstein comes alive. This is a glimpse at Jacob Elordi's portrayal of the resurrected monster in Guillermo del Toro's take on the Mary Shelley novel. Oscar Isaac co-stars in the tense new film, which will have a limited theatrical release on October 17th before arriving on Netflix on November 7th.
I want success. Get it for me.
Demi Moore and Billy Bob Thornton face more oil drama. We have your first look at season 2 of the hit drama Landman. The pair of stars will continue tackling the pressures of a Texas oil boom as new episodes premiere on November 16th on Paramount+.
Over the right shoulder, right down the center, sir.
Walton Goggins is heading to video games. The actor will now portray his character from the TV series Fallout in the video game series from which the show is based. The Ghoul will be a major addition for the popular multiplayer game Fallout 76 and will be part of the upcoming Burning Springs expansion. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Time for your first helping of Sidebar. When Joan Jett announced that We Love Rock and Roll, she was not wrong. Director Corey sharing some of his baby videos. This is sweet. I'm just kidding. This is 1-year-old Mayor. Wow, they named the baby Mayor, M-A-Y-O-R, like the mayor of a city. Can't help but rocking out to this classic. How about that, Janelle?
That is precious. Look at music has such a good impact on people, no matter the age.
One good thing about naming your baby Mayor, you're never going to have to, you know, it's not going to be like, hey, where's Olivia? And 6 hands shoot up. There's one kid.
Where's Mayor? There he is.
There he is.
Yep.
What else you got?
Well, now to someone channeling her inner Celine Dion with some much-needed help.
Oh, boy.
Very supportive boyfriend with her. So Amy wouldn't be able to pull this off without her beau, Aaron. He canceled plans to make this one, so he's definitely a keeper.
Look at him go. He's just throwing the sparkles. He's doing the lights and the... Oh,
I love this.
Sometimes I shoot you with one of those air things.
Yes, you do.
You do not like it. We're back after this. It's Thursday, October 2nd.
Kind of came out of the blue, this strike, and we sort of have been working on plans.
With Canada Post workers on strike, businesses and governments now working on backup plans to keep important mail moving.
Now, the Sask Party has a choice here today. They can step up and do the right thing and do everything in their power to keep this clinic open in 2 months' time. Or they can continue to fail Saskatchewan people.
Thousands of patients could be left without a family doctor when a Regina medical clinic closes next month.
Pretty steady on our own. Certainly the Bay, had its own, customer base, and they will be missed, but we do continue to trend positively.
Saskatoon's Midtown Mall reporting a record sales year. What's behind it? Stay with us. Saskatchewan, your morning starts right now. to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I am Daryl.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
Yeah, hey, Morning Mystery's coming up. You are 1 for 1. Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Got to keep the streak alive.
I don't know. Our producer Nathan said it's kind of tough, so.
He's been saying that a lot lately, though, and we've been crushing them.
All right, well, maybe there's hope.
So stay tuned. In about 15 minutes, Your Morning Mystery. We give you 3 clues. We teach you something new, hopefully. In the meantime, let's get to your news update for this part of the hour. Striking Canada Post workers held a National Day of Action. Workers held rallies on Parliament Hill and across the country yesterday. The strike was called after Ottawa announced a series of service cuts aimed at putting Canada Post back on solid financial ground. The CEO of Canada Post sent out an open letter, supporting the proposed measures as the two sides dig in provinces and communities now making backup plans. A new pipeline to the West Coast has been at the top of Danielle Smith's wish list since she became Premier of Alberta. But it's been difficult for that province to get any sort of movement on the proposal. Now, after years of back and forth, Smith has announced her government will step in and try to jumpstart the project. There's still a long way to go. Here's Tim Brook.
Premier Danielle Smith hasn't held back her feelings about a new crude pipeline to Northwest BC.
What stands before us right now is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to unlock our wealth of resources and become a world-leading energy superpower.
So far, no private company has stepped forward to bankroll a new pipeline. So Wednesday, Smith announced she'll lead the process to build the application for a 1 million barrel per day pipeline.
If we fix the investment climate and get an agreement with the federal government to move forward on this on the major projects list, that proponents will step up and it will be built with private sector money.
The province will work with 3 Canadian operators, Enbridge, Trans Mountain, and Southbow. The group will research a route and eventually put together an application. Smith is convinced by the time that proposal is done, the feds and Indigenous groups will be on board and private investments will come.
The fact that we're engaging early and we're being transparent and having very respectful conversations certainly helps.
For now, the province is putting up $14 million of taxpayer funds to support early planning work.
It's going to be a real tough go because the private sector, despite all the egging on of Alberta, has not been willing to step up on its own. We've seen so many things fail.
And of course, others will have a say.
Premier Smith continues to advance a project that is entirely taxpayer funded, has no private sector proponent, is not a real project, and is incredibly alarming to British Columbians.
Smith says she did give BC's premier a courtesy call earlier this week, but that hasn't convinced him. And Smith is well aware her government can't do this alone.
I have not publicly opposed any project that has been proposed by any of my premierial counterparts. This is a test of whether Canada works as a country.
Tim Brook, CTV News.
We are learning more about Saskatoon's latest homicide. Police say a 16-year-old boy took part in a fight that took place between 3 people in a parking lot of a 300 block of Confederation Drive at about 3:30 Sunday morning. That teen was taken to hospital at St. Paul's, where he died of his injuries. A 22-year-old man now charged with second-degree murder. A 20-year-old charged with manslaughter. This is Saskatoon's 8th homicide of the year. Saskatoon police investigating a spree of stabbings that happened over the last few days. The first happened about noon on Monday when police were told 2 people broke into a 56-year-old man's home on Avenue V South, stabbed him, and took his phone. Later that day, a 53-year-old man reported being bear sprayed and stabbed between a store on Avenue W South. Then yesterday morning at about 1:30, a 51-year-old man was attacked near 22nd Street West and Confederation Drive. A 4th incident saw a person seriously injured after being stabbed on Avenue O South at about 1 in the morning. And at about 3 a.m., a 21-year-old man was stabbed on Idlewild Drive North. Police have not indicated if the incidents are related and are now looking into each of the cases. City of Regina will be conducting its 5th annual point-in-time homeless count today. It's a nationally coordinated effort to better understand the scope and nature of homeless communities. Namarind Housing Corporation leading the charge. Trained volunteers will engage with people experiencing all forms of homelessness, which can include staying in shelters, using detox centers or sleeping outside. The hope is the data will shape a better response to homelessness. A Saskatchewan fire chief says fire departments are being called upon more often to manage homeless encampments. North Battleford Fire Chief Lindsay Holm recently returned from the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs Conference over in Winnipeg. He says cities across Canada are experiencing the same challenges.
We also had some good discussion about federal and provincial funding for our organizations, just to be able to mitigate some of the issues that we are having, because it does take a considerable amount of staff time to be able to deal with homelessness and encampments in particular.
Holmes says part of the issue is that people living in encampments need alternative options and access to safe, low-barrier places to stay. Online shopping and the closure of some major department stores have sparked questions about the future of shopping malls. But one Saskatoon mall is reporting a record year for sales. Stacey Hine with why.
Shoppers continue to fill the hallways of Midtown Mall, despite ongoing challenges in traditional retail, and the numbers reflect that activity. Sales at Midtown are up 11% compared to last September, while foot traffic has risen by nearly 4%, with 4.3 million visitors passing through each year. The mall's general manager, Tara Ferris, says the boost is partly due to 3 new stores opening, along with several others renovating or relocating within the mall. And more retailers are on the way, including Unique Bunny, a Korean and Japanese skincare store, and Ukraine Pantry.
Anytime we welcome a new first-to-market tenant, there's always lots of excitement.
Ferris says the loss of anchor store Hudson's Bay has not had a significant impact.
I think we're holding pretty steady on our own. Certainly the Bay, had its own, customer base, and they will be missed, but we do continue to trend positively.
She says she can't comment on the future of the Hudson Bay location, but confirms plans are in the works. Some people who spoke to CTV News shared their hopes for what could replace it.
Some sort of food store, something with semi-prepared foods for people that work downtown so that they could shop for those kinds of things over lunch or quickly after work.
More stores like where you can sit inside and have like a coffee or something and like do like activities or something.
While the future of that space remains uncertain, Ferris says the mall's overall sales and visitor numbers are expected to keep climbing through the holiday season. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Toronto Blue Jays will wait until tonight to learn who their opponent will be in the American League Division Series.
Wells. And he lines one into right field. Fair ball. Chisholm to third. He's being waved. Eden coming home. Here's the throw. He's safe.
Hard last night, the New York Yankees scored in the bottom of the 8th inning to take a 4-3 lead in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series with my Boston Red Sox. They were able to hold on till the top of the 9th for the win. And now the teams face off tonight. 6:08 our time is the first pitch. The winner will play against the Blue Jays. Let's get over to the Weather Center and join Janelle Lippi. Are you the bearer of good news, or did Kayleen take today off so that she didn't have to deal with some sort of bad weather pattern?
Depends who you're asking. It really is all about perspective, because we are starting to see those fall temperatures come towards us, which we had a beautiful summer. It's about time, I suppose. So let's take a look over at Regina. Currently, it is about 6 degrees, so we are starting to slowly see that temperature climb. We are starting to see some clouds rolling in as well, but nothing too much. We are going to be mainly sunny here in Regina for today. Over to Saskatoon, that haze is really starting to appear now, so 2 degrees, a little bit warmer than earlier this morning. A breeze moving through and a hazy start to this Thursday morning. Now over to our future cast here. You can see some of those clouds moving through the province, and up towards the north we will be seeing some precipitation, but just a drizzle. Nothing too heavy here in Regina Saskatchewan rather for today. Current temperatures across the province: Stony Rapids 2 degrees, Buffalo Narrows 7 degrees, La Ronge 10. We've got South End at 8, Hudson Bay 9 degrees, Battlefords and Kindersley at 2, East End at 6, along with Regina, Wynyard 7 degrees, and Yorkton 8. Now for our highs today across the province, Prince Albert seeing about 17 degrees and mostly sunny. Now, the Battlefort's also sitting at that 17 degree mark, but that haze is still lingering in the air. Now, Swift Current seeing about 22 degrees, Moose Jaw 24, Weyburn and Estevan both 26 degrees and plenty of sunshine. Now let's move over to our 3-day forecast here in Regina. 24 degrees as our high for today. Cloud cover in the sky later on today. We're seeing it a little bit this morning, but again, it's going to be mainly sunny for this Thursday. As we roll into Friday is when we'll start to see some of those clouds gathering and a little bit of rain. So 22 degrees as the high for tomorrow, and we'll start off our weekend on Saturday, 17 degrees and quite a bit of sunshine. And over to Saskatoon today, 21 degrees as the high. Again, a little bit of cloudiness in the sky. That haze is going to lift. Now, Friday is when we'll really start to see that sun coming out. Again, still some clouds, but a beautiful 21 degrees as well for tomorrow, and starting the weekend on Saturday with 16 degrees and mainly sunny.
On this day in history, in 1535, French explorer Jacques Cartier arrived in the Iroquois village of Hochelaga, which was home to about 1,500 people. Julie Payette was sworn in as Canada's 29th Governor General on this date in 2017. And on October 2nd of 1972, the Montreal Expos pitcher Bill Stoneman threw the first MLB no-hitter in Canada. That's a look at today in history. We're back with your rural forecast in just 2 minutes.
Let's take a look over at our rural forecast for today. Meadow Lake seeing about 15 degrees. Lloydminster 17. Kindersley a beautiful 20 degrees. And Outlook a degree higher at 21 along with Watrous. Plenty of sunshine across the province for today. Leader 21 degrees along with Rosetown. Lumsden 24 along with Pilot Butte. And we've got Broadview seeing about 23 degrees. Now let's take a look over at Delisle where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 21 degrees as the high for today. Some clouds in the sky, but a mainly sunny day ahead of us. Now a little bit of a breeze moving through as well. We have a beautiful Thursday here today.
OpenAI has become the world's most valuable startup, taking the title from Elon Musk's SpaceX. This comes after the company completed a deal to help employees sell shares at a $500 billion valuation. Current and former OpenAI employees have reportedly sold about $6.6 billion of stock to investors. And the Alberta government has proposed to build a new oil pipeline to the BC coast. The pipeline would carry up to 1 million barrels of crude oil a day, which would then be exported to Asian markets. Premier Danielle Smith says she hopes the project could get federal approval as soon as next month. The European Union plans to hike tariffs on steel imports to 50%. That's according to a draft proposal that's seen by Bloomberg. The move will align the bloc's rate with the U.S. Currently, the EU has a 25% tariff in place on most imports. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Cars and collectibles, big business, especially if you're in Saskatoon this week. Mike, what's going on over there?
Well, we've got first of its kind. The Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience is all set to take over at Prairieland Park on the weekend. I'm joined by Justin Fetter and Mr. Yell over here, and we're talking about this first of its kind big experience. We talked a little bit earlier about kind of where this all came from, but if you've got maybe a couple of boxes of old cards or a family heirloom or something, you have an opportunity to bring that down and sell it.
Absolutely. We have vendors coming in just to buy sports cards, Pokemon cards. So if you have anything sitting in your attic or something you want to move, bring them on down to Prairieland Park this weekend, and we'll have vendors that'll take it off your hands for a good price. So
yeah, it's really cool. We've been hanging out here at 306 Sports Cards all morning long, looking at all of their unique stuff. And they have some incredible things here. This is just a small sample of, you're going to have like 100 vendors, right?
Oh yeah, filling the table. You want to pack that whole bee. Go in the back of your closets. You find them, you never know what you have in back. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Now, we've got a couple of cards pulled out here. This one in particular, I mean, it's incredible. You could, if you know, you could tell that's a New Jersey Devils jersey card, and they're incredible.
Game use patches, they're so awesome to see in person. You have to hold it in your hand and appreciate where it came from. The history and the story behind these cards are incredible.
I love that. And that's really what the whole collectible experience is about here. For collectors, and when it comes to cards, it's really about that nostalgic feel. It's like being a kid again, or still, as the case might be.
Yeah, so like it's called Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience, so we're bringing the experience to life. We want people who haven't been involved in the hobby to come experience, see what it's all about. I mean, we'll have cards from the 30s all the way up to today, right? So there's everything for everyone there. It'll be exciting times. So
yeah, no doubt about it. Check them out, or better yet, just pop down. It is Saturday and Sunday at Prairieland Park, and again, it's the Saskatchewan, so the whole province can come. Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience.
And Val Marie's Brian Trottier is going to be there on Saturday. That's exciting too. Mike, thanks so much for this.
All right, and your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is holiday. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
All right, there is a winner in the annual Fattest Bear competition in Alaska. Meet Chunk, a towering brown bear with a broken jaw. Swept the competition. So this bear is tubby in spite of his physical ailments. This is his first win after narrowly finishing second in the past 3 years. Why'd they put the crown on his butt? Chunk's weight is estimated at 1,200 pounds.
Yay! Good for you, Chunk.
The annual online competition allows viewers to follow 12 bears in Alaska's national park and live webcams and cast ballots. So congratulations to Chunk and the crown on his butt. It's just...
I love Chunk.
That one makes sense.
I'm so happy he won.
He's got a broken jaw, though, poor little fella.
I know.
Oh.
That makes me really sad, actually.
Maybe he would still enjoy your signature deal at 1,200 pounds, signature meal, rather. That's the question of the day. We're talking to the MasterChef Canada chefs a little bit later on in the program. So we're asking you at home, what do you make best? What's on the big board over there?
Yeah, we got some great answers in. We have Robert here from Regina who says breakfast omelets.
Oh, we could use one.
The best way to start the day,
We're on
I tell you.
Highway 1 East and Tower Road.
Feel free to bring those over, Robert.
Drop it off.
We've got Bailey who says homemade tomato soup is always fun to make. I love homemade tomato soup.
Oh, dear.
I love it.
I don't like any soup at all.
What?
No.
We need to talk about that
Soup or
later.
coffee? I'm a weird guy.
Oh. Okay, we've got Paula from Regina who says cabbage rolls, lasagna, ribs, and chicken wings, which all sound delicious.
Together at the same time?
Together all at this, that's a lot of meat.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I like it.
We've also got LS here who says my signature dish has always been homemade soups and stews. So this is out of your nightmares, Daryl, by the sounds of it.
Wonderful.
But I love it. Sounds delicious. We've also got Bob here who says chicken stir fry. And then, of course, Albert here who says hamburger and rice mixed together. So you guys are making us hungry.
There we go. We want more answers, though.
We sure do. Keep bringing them in. So you can send us a message here at 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Keep making us hungry. Send in those answers.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday in Fort. We head to the pitch. UEFA Champions League. Villarreal taking on Juventus. Off the throw-in, the ball deflects off ahead. And check out Federico Gatti, who scores a beautiful bicycle kick. The defender buries his first goal of the Champions League in style for Juventus. And they needed it as this one would end in a 2-2 draw. Gatti also earning your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN. Week 5 in the NFL kicks up. Huge NFC West showdown between the 49ers and Rams. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Time for my favorite part of the program. Just 2 of us competing today. It is our morning mystery. 3 clues. Let's see if we can get this right and keep the streak alive. First clue. This candy was first made in 1882 and called chocolate beans.
Okay.
1882.
Okay.
Before 1958, clue number 2, dark brown ones had a plain chocolate center and light brown ones tasted like coffee.
Okay, I'm feeling good about this.
You're feeling good about this?
Yeah.
Okay, I might copy off your sheet.
Okay.
In 2009, artificial colors were removed from them in Canada. Blue ones are made using a coloring extracted from the blue-green algae called spirulina. Spirulina. Okay, so let's get our whiteboards ready. Let's write down our answers.
Eyes on your own sheet over there.
You just don't even worry about me. You try to spell yours right.
Okay, I think I did it. What?
Okay, I got Smarties, she's got jelly beans. The answer is Smarties! No. Oh, one day we didn't look at the National Day calendar before the show. It is National Smarties Day. That is your morning mystery.
Consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, let's take a look over at our school day forecast, which is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. Today in Regina, by the time you get on the bus, you might want to grab a jacket, 9 degrees. By lunchtime, we're hitting 21 degrees and lots of sunshine. And final bell around 3 p.m., 24 degrees. Now over to Saskatoon again, might want to grab that coat, 6 degrees by the time you get on the bus. By lunchtime, 17 degrees. And final bell, 3 p.m., 21 degrees.
What jelly beans taste like coffee, Janelle?
I wish I could redo that.
Gas prices in Regina and Saskatoon. The most common you'll see is $1.35.9. The lowest in Regina, $1.20. In Saskatoon, $1.30. Farm markets is where we go next. $5.45.62 per ton is the street price of canola. Futures price at $6.09.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat will trade at $2.74.93 per ton. Red Spring wheat dropped $0.50 yesterday to $2.31.80 per ton. Canadian dollar begins today trading at 71.74 cents against the American greenback. And when we come back on Your Morning Saskatchewan, federal government issuing a new warning about passports. We'll have that for you in 3 minutes' time. Welcome to Your Morning. It is 7:30. Here's what's making news. We begin with Quebec's public security minister, who says a deadly shooting in Laval appears to be linked to organized crime. It happened in broad daylight at a coffee shop. 1 person was killed, 2 others injured. City's police chief says fighting organized crime is a priority.
We're going to target strategic targets to be sure that the organized crime understand that we're going to be there, we're going to follow them.
A police spokesperson says the man was in his 40s who died in the brazen shootings. He's not been identified yet, or at least it's not been released. Police are not confirming multiple reports that a man nicknamed Bobby the Greek, a high-profile organized crime boss, is the victim. Police say for now there's no evidence any innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire. And 2 people have been killed in a violent vehicle and knife attack outside a synagogue in the UK. Police in Manchester were called to a synagogue this morning by a witness who reported seeing a car being driven into a group of people. Now, the witness also reported 1 person has been stabbed during the attack. A 3rd person, believed to be the attacker, was shot by police. Police have been unable to confirm whether the suspected attacker was deceased. The attack comes on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who is flying home early from a summit in the European leaders, says he is appalled by the attack. Additional police officers are being deployed at synagogues across the UK. The Canadian government is issuing a new warning for citizens with Canadian passports, especially those in the Pride community. Recently, Global Affairs added an advisory to its U.S. travel page stating people who have an X gender marker on their passports may not be able to enter some countries, including the U.S. Canadian border officials confirm approximately 550 Nexus applications with an X identifier were submitted for approval between January 2022 and March 2023. 2025. This comes as the U.S. president is escalating the fight in the U.S. courts to include only two sexes, male and female, on American federal documents. Thousands of patients could be left without a family doctor when a Regina medical clinic closes next month. The Gardens Community Health Center has informed clients that it is unable to recruit enough doctors to stay open. It operates in partnership with the SHA through a multidisciplinary team of physicians, nurses, therapists, pharmacists, and a nutritionist, rather. The NDP opposition is calling on the government to take action to keep it open.
Now, the Sask Party has a choice here today. They can step up and do the right thing and do everything in their power to keep this clinic open in 2 months' time. Or they can continue to fail Saskatchewan people.
The manager of the Gardens Clinic confirmed that it is closing, but would not comment further. Jane Goodall is being remembered today as a true hero for our planet.
Being out in the wild, you know, back when I dreamed of it, there was nobody doing anything like that.
Goodall was a pioneer in primate research, known around the world as a leading female scientist for groundbreaking work studying the personalities and emotions of chimpanzees. After seeing habitat devastation firsthand, Goodall turned her focus to climate advocacy. In a social media post, the Jane Goodall Institute said she died of natural causes while speaking on a tour in California. She was 91. Some new cost-cutting measures could impact this year's Remembrance Day ceremonies across the country. But as CTV's Abigail Bimman tells us, some are questioning whether Veterans and Remembrance Day wreaths are a worthwhile place to cut.
Laying a wreath at cenotaphs and ceremonies across the country is a long-time tradition and a way to honor veterans at Remembrance Day. In an email obtained by CTV News, the Veterans Affairs Minister writes this year's Wreaths for Parliamentarians program will have a revised format. Each MP will receive 2 wreaths, and additional costs are the responsibility of the requester for those who want more. An order form pegs the cost at $115 a wreath plus shipping costs.
This is just absolutely the worst place I could imagine to try to save money. If that's what this is about, it's just a complete lack of respect.
For MPs in rural ridings, as many as 24 wreaths are needed for legions and cenotaphs across a large geographic area. The Conservative critic for Veterans Affairs says the government should be covering the cost.
It just seems sad that the government didn't think it was important to make sure that every single legion in the country has that wreath to be able to pay their respects to our veterans on Remembrance Day. And I think it's part of a sort of a troubling pattern that we see from this government.
CTV News asked the Veterans Affairs Minister's office a number of questions. Late Wednesday, a staff member said this is not about the government spending review, but that changes were made to more equitably distribute wreaths across different regions, and that the changes were meant to right-size the program, but wouldn't say what was wrong with it. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Saskatchewan Roughriders will turn to a rookie kicker this weekend. Brett Lowther out with a back injury. Riders are hoping he gets a lot of work, but only in kicking extra points. Here's Donovan Mace.
AJ Ouellette's second season in Saskatchewan is already a career year.
Do you feel like you're playing your best football of your career right now?
I do. I feel like I'm moving well. I'm seeing the game well, and I'm a little bit older, so I'm communicating what I want and what I'm seeing out there. Yeah, everything's feeling good right now.
And now the tailback has surpassed the 1,000-yard mark for just the second time.
Over 1,000 and still counting. AJ Ouellette gets it down to the Edmonton 20.
Ouellette last reached 1,000 yards in 2023 as a member of the Argos, barely crossing the mark that season.
Touchdown, Saskatchewan Roughriders, and what a drive for their leading rusher.
This year, he set career highs for yards on the ground and is on pace to do so catching the ball as well.
Every game, you know, just stacking the run game with the O-line, building confidence for the OC to call it in clutch situation.
But he's not the only rider reaching a milestone.
And it's into the Edmonton zone, and Keith Keyshawn Johnson officially going over 1,000 yards receiving this season.
Receiver Keyshawn Johnson also reaching 1,000 yards through the air.
It's an accomplishment that all receivers want to hit, and it's something that I was able to do. But my main goal was when I came here was to win games and get to the last game of the season.
2025, just the second CFL season for the Fresno State product, breaking out with the Riders dealing with a slew of injuries to the receiving core.
I give credit to my coach, to my quarterback, having faith in me and to make the play on second down and for our team. And I take pride in that.
Nothing gives me as a quarterback more happiness than to see AJ get a lot of rushing yards and see Keyshawn hit that milestone.
Now, with still 4 games remaining on the regular season, the Riders could have yet another receiver join Johnson in that 1,000-yard club, with Dante Myers just over 100 yards away from also crossing that mark. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The Regina Pats yet to find the win column this season.
Down below the goal line for Edmonton. Hodnett walks his way up top, hands it off to Yeko. To the side of the net, centering pass, they score. What a play.
Edmonton Oil Kings captain Gavin Hodnett's first of the season gave the visitors an early 2-0 lead. The Pats did make a late push to draw within 1, but that was as close as they would get. Edmonton wins 4-3. Pats head coach Brad Haroff says the team really beat themselves.
I think just self-inflicted again. The goals they did score, I thought, were direct results of our giveaways or just poor play with the puck. I thought Merrick was really well. I thought he played really good tonight when he had to make his saves. But the chances that we gave him when they scored their goals those are on individuals.
The Pats are back in action Saturday in Swift Current. That was the only game on the schedule yesterday. I can't believe we're already talking hockey season.
I know, isn't that wild? And those temperatures are kind of reflecting our transition into fall, at least. Not quite winter, so don't worry too much. We still have some warmer temperatures ahead of us here in Regina. As you can see behind me, that sun is out, so we're looking beautiful outside. We are up to about 6 degrees here in the city. A little bit of cloud cover moving through as the day goes on. But to start off our day here today, we are seeing plenty of clear skies. Now over to Saskatoon is where we're not quite seeing that same skyline. So 2 degrees in Saskatoon, and again that haze is definitely sticking around a little bit here this morning. That breeze is moving through and will hopefully push some of that haze out, but make sure you're being careful wherever you're off to here this morning. It is a little hard to see out there. So for a future cast here today, you can see some of those clouds moving through the province and some precipitation up towards the north side of the province as well. For the most part today and into tomorrow as well, we'll be seeing a couple clouds moving through, but mainly sunny skies. Now for current temperatures here today, Stony Rapids 2 degrees, Buffalo Narrows 7, Spiritwood 10 degrees, we've got Hudson Bay at 9, Battleford's at 2 along with Kindersley, Swift Current 8, along with Yorkton and Estevan 6 degrees. Now for our highs today, we are seeing quite a bit of sunshine. However, some of that haze is also lingering towards the Battlefords as well. So 17 degrees as the high for today, but it is a little tough to see here this morning. Now Swift Current 22 degrees, Moose Jaw 24 along with Regina, Weyburn and Estevan 26, and Yorkton 23 degrees. Now for our 5-day forecast here in Regina today, 24 degrees, seeing that sun out as much as possible. Some clouds in the sky, but mainly sunny skies. Now as we roll into tomorrow is again where we'll start to see that precipitation moving through. So 22 degrees as the high for tomorrow. We've got a beautiful weekend though, lots of sunshine. Saturday 17 degrees as the high, and Sunday 9 degrees. Now on to Monday is when we'll see 13 as our high, but -2 as the low in the evening. So things are starting to cool down a little bit. Now over to Saskatoon today, 21 degrees as the high. Beautiful sunshine for the most part. That haze is going to clear up. Now starting on Friday again, 21 degrees into the weekend, 16 on Saturday, 10 on Sunday. We are seeing those nighttime temperatures start to drop a little bit. By the time we roll around to Monday, 10 degrees as the high, but -3 as the low Monday night. So make sure you're grabbing a jacket if you're heading out. It's going to be a little bit of a chilly one.
People who play musical instruments are often exposed to a lot of sound, but a study published in PLOS Biology suggests that senior musicians may have better hearing than others. When listening in noisy places, older musicians appear to use their brains more efficiently, and they didn't have to work as hard to understand speech. Of course, that doesn't mean you should deliberately stand next to a blaring trumpet or someone banging on the drums for hours on end. If you play or perform music regularly, take extra steps to protect your hearing, like using musician-grade earplugs and taking breaks from the noise. And it's a good idea to get your hearing checked on a regular basis as you get older. With this Medical Minute, I'm Olivia Rubin.
This week in politics, we focus in on the community of Yorkton, and we join the mayor of that fine community, Aaron Keeley, in Ottawa this morning. Aaron, what are you doing in the nation's capital?
So we've been here for a couple of days. We had a travel day and then arrived yesterday, went right into meetings. So we're here with the government relations team and the Minister Schmaltz from provincial government. They were kind enough to invite mayors from the 8 largest communities in our province on a mission to Ottawa to talk to the federal government and different MPs. We talked to 6 of the 6 Saskatchewan senators in regards to infrastructure needs in our province and really smaller communities right across Canada.
What is your most pressing need in Yorkton in terms of infrastructure?
Yeah, so that's a good question and something I've been raising in these meetings. We have a need for a wastewater treatment plant. We're a rather small city, especially when you're looking at it at the federal scale. But we serve a big region, a lot of agribusiness, big partners there. And so it's pushed our water capacity for wastewater specifically right to the limit. And so our wastewater plant's from the 50s. It did have some renovation done in the late 70s and late 80s. But we're now running in a state of non-compliance with new regulations. And the costs of these types of facilities has just skyrocketed over the last number of years. And so we need the help of both the provincial and federal government. I've had meetings with Minister Schmaltz and his staff in regards to the need. They have stepped up to the plate saying that, they would invest in this project along with the city, but that we need more funding than that. And so going to the federal government to say, hey, there were programs in the past that work for larger needs like this. And we'd like to see something like that come up in the future.
Are your concerns being heard?
Yes. No, we've had very positive meetings. Again, as I mentioned, with members of parliament, senators. We were fortunate enough yesterday to meet with Secretary of State Buckley Boulanger. Had a very productive meeting. He is a champion for Saskatchewan and for rural communities here in Ottawa. So thankful for that meeting. Later today, we're going to meet with Gregor Robertson, Minister of Infrastructure. Also talking to Prairie Economic Development Minister, finance people. Just a number of key individuals here in Ottawa, just to let them hear the concerns from people who are boots on the ground in these cities and communities in our province.
If affordability is key issue number 1, maybe infrastructure is 2, what's number 3 in your town right now?
I mean, I've been working a lot on just developing culture and trying to encourage people to take a different approach when they think of our city and the city and things that are going on, and really try to build positivity and build some momentum around just that culture piece. I think it's hard to shift culture, and it's a tough thing to talk about and to actually have happen. But I think it's something that we just lead with by example, encouraging others to work collaboratively with other organizations and bring events to Yorkton, and that's something that we've been working on. So whether that's the number 3 need, I mean, there's lots of things. There's things going on with mental health and addictions. There's things happening, with different facilities that we've been renovating. But I've been really working on the culture of our office, of our
sorry, Mr. Mayor, we got to cut you off. We got a hard out here on this. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
We'll do this again soon.
Yeah, it was great being here. Take care.
Here's what's happening in our community. A fall supper happening Friday, October 3rd at 5 p.m. at the Heritage United Church. That's 1050 North Arneson Street. 306-543-2626 for more. Weyburn's Old Time Dance Club is hosting a party on Friday, October 3rd at 8 p.m. It's in the Banquet Hall on 4th Street in Weyburn. Call 306-861-9929 for more. Take-home turkey suppers happening Saturday, October 4th at Lakeview United Church, 3200 McCallum Avenue. venue. Tickets must be bought in advance by calling 306-585-0404. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
It's October 2nd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We begin a happy 11th birthday from Lily, or to Lily, from her family and her friends. Grandpa John is celebrating his 90th birthday. He's a musician who played a lot of music for retirement homes, and we hope everyone is playing for you today. And Marina is celebrating a birthday today as well. Lots of love from all your family. Sheila, it's your birthday too. We hope you have a great day from your daughter. And happy sweet 16 goes out to Drake today. Good luck on that driver's license test. Happy 50th to Allison today from Giselle, Kirk, Carter, and Noah. Happy 7th birthday to Hudson. Love your grandparents. And last, but of course not least, happy 20th anniversary to Suzanne and Clint. We hope you both enjoy your very special day together. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us over an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Please make sure you're sending them at least one day in advance.
Very excited. Brandon's going to join us for tomorrow's morning mystery on this program. First, we have a mystery of our own, and that is, why do you have scissors? Who let you have those?
It's actually part of my useless question of the day today, which is currently right now, Daryl, 50% of people in their homes are doing this. What do you think that is? And you can win at 54321. I'm currently doing this. Making a little art project. Brandon, Daryl, best buddies. This one's for you, man. Useless question of the day. 50% of people are doing not this, something else. You could be doing it right now. You can win by texting 54321.
Well, I expect a text from Janelle, who is very disappointed she's not involved in the friendship circle. So that's one. And two, is it going to the bathroom? I feel like it's probably at this hour. That's probably got to be, right?
No, but now you mentioned it, I got to go too, so.
Me too. Okay, time out.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
The first official trailer for Frankenstein is now out. The latest creation from Oscar-winning horror director Guillermo del Toro. Euphoria's Jacob Elordi takes on the role of the iconic monster. Dr. Frankenstein himself, meanwhile, is played by Oscar Isaac. Frankenstein will be unleashed in theaters October 17th and will hit Netflix in November.
Your generation would rather sit in front of the television.
I would rather sit in front of the TV.
It's an expanded partnership, Charlie Brown. Apple TV Plus has announced it's working on a slate of new Peanuts cartoons. In addition, Apple says it'll also give non-subscribers free streaming of holiday classics. It's The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and a Charlie Brown Christmas on selected dates. The band 9 Inch Nails is adding more shows to their North American tour. Starting in February, the group will play shows in New Orleans, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Las Vegas. Tickets go on sale next Wednesday. And happy birthday to Sting. The lead singer and bassist of The Police, whose real name is Gordon Sumner, is turning 74 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
This woman got an unpleasant surprise when she cuts into the first watermelon that she grew. Check this out.
What am I looking at here? Guys, this is a pumpkin. It's not a watermelon. I was so
Come on.
All right, so her first watermelon is actually a pumpkin, and she's very disappointed when she realized she grew a gourd instead. But luckily for her, it is pumpkin season, so it all worked out.
That's true. Oh, my gourd.
No, that was good.
You could... it's green. You could still hollow it out and make it like a rider hat, right?
You could do anything.
For October.
Yeah.
Now let's channel some inner Celine Dion. hearts are going to break across Saskatchewan when I mention your boyfriend, Dalton. Yeah, she's off the market. Would he do this for you? Would he help you?
Absolutely, he would. He would love
throwing the glitter.
Yes.
He's backlighting you. He's got the fan going.
He'd want to be in the video too. It would be the two of us.
That's not what's happening here. This is supportive. This is a sidekick.
He would be supportive plus, right? Like he would add that little extra pizzazz.
You know what? Before we go, we better show this video of this young kid doing a little dancing to some Joan Jett. There we go. Baby Mayor, 1 year old, not years old, can't get enough. A little Joan Jett, and the family's clapping along. Fill up your coffee cup. We're back in 3 minutes' time. It is Thursday, October 2nd.
You don't want officers with added stress of how am I going to pay my bills?
No end in sight to the U.S. government shutdown, with border delays this morning and now mass layoffs expected.
The dam has been around for about 30 years, and so with any major infrastructure, upgrades need to happen.
Rafferty Dam near Estevan is receiving $15 million in infrastructure upgrades.
I was actually in the middle of a baseball game, and I heard my phone ringing.
Another Regina-based athlete will be taking to the world stage, heading to Argentina today. Stay with us. Saskatchewan, Your Morning starts right now. Welcome into studio. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. My name is Daryl.
I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
We just had a wonderful little visitor in house.
We did. Our very own Kayleen Sawatsky's beautiful little girl.
Yeah, not Kayleen. It was Sadie. Sadie was,
and Kayleen.
And she was happy to see everybody. I think she wanted to come in here and do this.
A delight.
My goodness.
Yes.
My kids are like, I don't know about you. I'm not sure. Hers is like, oh, up.
Yep.
Up. Why not? Let's get to weather in just a moment. First, let's hit your news headlines. Striking Canada Post workers held a national day of action yesterday. Featuring part of Janelle's elbow. Workers held rallies on Parliament Hill and across the country. The strike was called after Ottawa announced a series of service cuts aimed at putting Canada Post back on solid financial ground. The CEO has put out an open letter supporting the proposed measures. As the two sides dig in, everyone's making backup plans. Canada's Federation of Independent Business is warning Canada Post risks losing nearly 2/3 of its small business customers if that strike does continue. The Federation is the largest organization representing small and medium businesses in Canada. Now it's urging Ottawa to immediately end the strike or risk hurting already struggling businesses. Last year's strike cost small businesses more than $1 billion, according to the organization, which says 13% of small businesses have stopped using Canada Post since the last strike, and nearly 2/3 said they'd do the same if another strike happened. Saskatchewan's premier in support of Alberta's renewed push for a new oil pipeline to the west coast. Alberta made the proposal themselves with plans to submit a formal application under the federal government's new major projects mandate. It will work with 3 Canadian crude pipeline operators, Enbridge, Trans Mountain, and South Bow. Consultations with Indigenous groups along with potential pipeline route impactees have already begun. Scott Moe posted yesterday that he supports the move, saying it opens the markets for others. We are learning more about Saskatoon's latest homicide this morning. Saskatoon police say a 16-year-old boy was part of a fight that took place between 3 people in the parking lot of the 300 block of Confederation Drive about 3:30 Sunday morning. The teen was taken to St. Paul's Hospital where he died. A 22-year-old man charged with second-degree murder, 20-year-old man charged with manslaughter now. This is Saskatoon's 8th homicide of the year. 3 people are facing charges over an August jewelry store robbery in Regina. This one happened on the 400 block of Albert Street North on August 8th. The total value from the smashed display case, more than $200,000. Last month, 2 suspects were picked up by Warren RCMP, then a third in Edmonton 2 weeks later. The 3 face a slew of charges over the robbery, along with crimes related to stolen identity, forgery, and counterfeit money. With new executives at the Regina Exhibition Association Limited, now the Real District Executive Committee here in Regina is optimistic about the future of that organization. Sierra D'Souza Butts with why.
Regina's Executive Committee says the Real Exhibition Association Limited's request to reallocate a portion of its funding is a step in the right direction.
This is a result of basically a deep dive into finance and house cleaning and dotting the I's and crossing the T's and moving things in the right place.
The committee unanimously approving City Administration's recommendation to allow Real to move $850,000 of its debt funding to support operating shortfalls for this year's budget, along with reallocating almost $200,000 of unused capital funding for 2025 expenses.
Through cash flow management, through earlier payment timing from the city, lower interest rates, we're going to be better than expected on that spending. And we're thinking that, it'd be prudent to move that $850,000 over to operating in order to pay down our line of credit that has been built up over the course of previous administrations and to get Real back in a financially healthy spot.
The redistribution of cash does not include any new funding from the city. Executive Committee also voting 8-1 in favor of recommending the city invest over $700,000 into the Taylor Field redevelopment project.
We need to develop this land, there's no doubt about it, but is there an appetite for developers to actually hit the ground running and put some shovels in the ground and start doing some building on it?
The funds coming from the Land Development Reserve will be used to start planning the early stages of designing the site, along with getting the infrastructure in place, potentially bringing in more revenue for the city.
Anything where we have some new development in areas like this tends to increase the value and livability of that area, therefore making the properties in this area go up and relatively then be paying more in taxes.
All recommendations made by Executive Committee will be brought forward to City Council on October 8th for final approval. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Elon Musk became the world's first half-trillionaire for a brief time, at least. His net worth reached $500 billion U.S. yesterday before dipping down to just $499 billion. What will he ever do? Tesla shares surged by 37% last month after news that Musk was buying $1 billion worth of the company's stock. U.S. President Donald Trump has set his sights on using the government shutdown as an opportunity to reshape the federal workforce and punish detractors with threats of mass firings and irreversible cuts to programs that the Democrats deem important. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says layoffs are imminent, and the Office of Management and Budget says it's putting a hold on roughly $18 billion of infrastructure funds for New York's subway and Hudson Tunnel projects. If the standoff extends later into October, federal workers who remain on the job will begin missing paychecks. The Congressional Office for Budget estimates roughly 750,000 workers would be furloughed on any given day during the shutdown, resulting in a loss of $400 million in daily wages.
I'm personally not happy with the government shutdown. I think the Democrats really need to play by the rules. And more importantly, it will impact and affect travel, given a lot of people like to travel. Thank God it's not during a holiday season, but I'm not happy.
There are also concerns of disruptions to air travel in the U.S. Airlines are warning passengers to prepare for potential delays as thousands of TSA officers and air traffic controllers are working without pay. Rafferty Dam near Estevan receiving $15 million in infrastructure upgrades. The main focus is repairing the drainage system near the spillway, which will improve functionality during high flow times, costing $10 million. $2.5 will be used to improve diversion channels from the Boundary Dam, which will help maximize water capture rather than water flowing into the Souris River. Another $2.5 million will be provided to the RM of Estevan to narrow Rafferty Road, which was initially built wider for construction of the dam, but is now costly to maintain.
the dam has been around for about 30 years, and so with any major infrastructure, upgrades need to happen to make sure it's safe. And so we recognized after the 2011 flood that some improvements needed to be done, and so that's why, as I said, about 5 years ago, we put in a plan to study the rehab of all of our major structures, and this being one of them.
Construction should finish this fall, expected to be ready for spring. Another Regina-based athlete will be taken to the world stage, heading all the way to Argentina. Kian Poitras of Regina and Muscopetang First Nation will be representing Team Canada at the Pan Am qualifiers. This is the first time representing the country. He represented Saskatchewan in the Canada Summer Games this past year.
I was actually in the middle of a baseball game, and I heard my phone ringing, and then answered it, and it turned out to be the Team Canada coach just letting me know that.
He phoned me right away, and he's like, "Dad, Team Canada called me." I was like, I didn't know what to say. I went quiet for a few minutes there, and because he's always lying to me. We always lie. So I was like, "Are you for real?" He's like, "Yeah, Dad, they really called."
Saskatoon's Brett Slusar is part of Team Canada. It'll all start on October 5th. We go from some great athletes to Athlete of the Week contender week in, week out. Janelle Lepai, what's going on in the weather?
You know me. Well, we are running into this fall weather coming up here, especially as we get into next week. But we still do have a pretty decent day ahead of us here today on this Thursday. Let's take a look over at Regina. Those skies are clearing up quite nicely. 8 degrees in the city so far. Again, that wind is kind of moving through a little bit, but we aren't expecting to see that speed up much. Now over to Saskatoon. It was hazy to start off this Thursday morning, but we are seeing that clear up now. So that sun's starting to peek out. We will be seeing that continue on throughout the morning. So that haze is clearing, currently 3 degrees. Now over to our future cast, you can start to see some of those clouds moving through the province. Again, some precipitation as well up towards the north, but for the most part, just a couple clouds coming through, especially today and into tomorrow as well. We'll still see those sunny skies as we roll into the weekend. Now, current temperatures in Saskatchewan, Stony Rapids 4 degrees, Buffalo Narrows 7 degrees, Spiritwood 9 along with Melfort. We've got Hudson Bay at 10 degrees. Battleford still at about that 2-degree mark. Kindersley 3 along with Saskatoon, both Wynyard and Yorkton at 9, and East End 10 degrees. Now for our highs today, the Battleford seeing about 17 degrees. Again, a little bit of a hazy morning, but we are expecting to see that clear up as the day goes on. Prince Albert is at 17 degrees for their high. Yorkton 23, Moose Jaw 24, Swift Current 22. So for the most part across Saskatchewan, we are seeing a fairly sunny day. Now for our 5-day forecast here in Regina, today we'll be seeing about 24 degrees as our high. Tomorrow is when that rain will start to move in. A little bit of a cloudier day as well, 22 degrees. Beautiful weekend we have with mainly sunny skies, 17 degrees on Saturday and 9 on Sunday. Now Monday is when we start to see that temperature dip a little bit. So in the evening on Monday, we will hit about that low of -2 degrees. And over to Saskatoon today, 21 as the high. Those skies are going to clear up quite nicely. Now we've got a great Friday ahead of us to 21 degrees as well. Beautiful sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. Now Monday again is when you start to see some of those temperatures drop. So -3 degrees in the evening on Monday. Make sure you're bundling up if you're heading out there. It's going to be a chilly one.
This farmer really has sorted things out. Take a look.
People just love seeing a giant pumpkin.
So Elroy Morgan has been growing giant pumpkins this year. His biggest this year is between 1,700 and 1,800 pounds and is planning to enter it in a local competition. He has goals of pumpkin even bigger than that. He's hoping to break the 2,000-pound barrier one day. I love these stories, Janelle. So what happens now is we get the giant pumpkins now.
Okay.
And about November 2nd, we start getting all of these giant pumpkins dropped from cranes onto things.
Okay.
We smash them.
Okay. I was just going to ask, what do you do with them after that?
Make a lot of pies or you drop them on cars for charity.
Amazing. Okay.
That's what they do. I don't know why. Maybe they use it in their recipe, their favorite dish.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of those.
Let's do that.
We've got some good answers coming in
today. Our question of the day today. MasterChef Canada's on. We're asking what your signature dish is.
Yes, so lots of good answers. You're making us all hungry over here. We've got cabbage rolls, lasagna, ribs, and chicken wings. This one's from Paula in Regina. We've also got homemade soups and stews. This is from LS. Let's take a look this way. Chicken stir fry from Bob. Bob. Hamburger and rice mixed together. That's coming in from Albert. And then we've got lasagna and chocolate chip oatmeal cookies for dessert. Thank you, Lori. That sounds delicious. And our very own producer Nathan here, who says homemade shepherd's pie, Thai curry soup, and garlic grilled cheese sandwich. Sounds amazing. And
you know what we could make, Janelle?
What?
We could make time to eat all of this stuff.
I love that.
There you go.
That's a fantastic. I love that.
We do what we can.
Yeah, you're pleasing the crowd over here. Nathan, I encourage you to bring some of this in so we can try it. It sounds delicious, and we'll get our hands on whatever we can. So.
Time out. We're back after this in 2 minutes. Fill up your coffee. A Regina Medical Clinic designed to keep patients out of emergency rooms will close next month. Wayne Mantica with why.
The Gardens Community Health Center was the first of its kind in Saskatchewan. Through a partnership with the SHA, the clinic offered a more comprehensive suite of services than a traditional physician's clinic. Now, 7 years after opening, a sign in the window says the clinic will cease operation at the end of November. The NDP estimate that 5,000 patients will be left without a family physician.
Now, the Sask Party has a choice here today. They can step up and do the right thing and do everything in their power to keep this clinic open in 2 months' time, or they can continue to fail Saskatchewan people.
During the 2018 clinic opening ceremony, the government said it would budget $4.3 million in the first year to support the clinic and a seniors house call team. $3 million would be allocated in subsequent years through the SHA partnership. 30 positions would be created.
There are 5,000 patients that we have heard at this clinic who are losing their family doctor. That is adding on to the 200,000 people in this province who don't currently have a family doctor. And that means that people are going to now end up in urgent care centers. They're going to end up at emergency rooms.
The SHA says programs it offered in conjunction with the clinic will continue from a yet-to-be-determined location. 3 staff are being retained. The Seniors House Call program was relocated and renamed during the pandemic. The clinic declined further comment. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
The Saskatchewan Card and Collectible Experience is coming this weekend in Saskatoon. Mike Siona is all over it. Here he is one final time this morning. Mike, let me turn it over to you.
Yeah, one more time down here at 306 Cards with Carter Yell and Justin Fetter, who are the co-founders of the Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience, coming to Prairieland Park this weekend. We've been talking all about it all morning long, and now we're going to have a little bit of fun here. Talk to me about this, because this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is a 24-25 clear-cut hobby box. So it's from Upper Deck. You're guaranteed 1 autograph. So these are some of the things you can find down at Prairieland Park this weekend. So you're guaranteed an autograph in here, but if you come down there, you can come and meet Brian Trottier, NHL legend, Stanley Cup champion, and get an autograph from him, or Tim Shovelday.
I love that, absolutely. And no, this clear cut is from the package. I know that some of the vendors, including the guys here at 306, have some mystery boxes which follow the same premise. You buy it, you don't know what you're getting, but it's going to be something awesome.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to pull. It could be your favorite player or somebody great trader you can find something else with.
Fantastic. I love that. Now, we've got permission to actually open this thing right now, and I'm not asking twice. So here we go. Apparently, we're just going to exit like that. We're going to open this thing right here, live on the air. And this is the most pressure-packed cut I've ever made, that's for sure. Here we go. Have a look at it. What did we get? What did we get?
Celebrini.
Oh, my God. You got Master Celebrini. You're up to Kurt. $1,000 card, man. Well, you do never know what you're going to find. That's incredible. Look at that. It is so much fun to do this, I'll tell you. And then, big Oiler fan here. So we got to leave you with just some of these because we don't know what we were going to pull. But there is a McDavid rookie card. You've got a Gretzky autographed and Stitch. I mean, these are just absolutely incredible, incredible cards.
On hands, Mike.
Yeah. There you go. Celebrating the Celebrini pull here. Enjoy the Saskatchewan Garden Collector experience this weekend.
A great weekend. Looked like he was filleting a fish almost to get that open. Jane Goodall not only studied chimpanzees, she lived with them, immersing herself in their world so she could teach the world about the creatures that are the closest relatives of humans. Goodall died of natural causes Wednesday while on a speaking tour in California at the age of 91. With a look back at her life and legacy, here's Andrew Johnson.
When a young British woman with a childhood love of primates but little scientific training traveled to Tanzania in 1960, she changed the way we look at chimpanzees.
When I got to Cambridge finally, they were totally horrified. I'd named the chimps instead of numbering them. I talked about them having personalities. I talked about them having minds and being able to have rational thoughts and emotions, happiness, sadness, fear. And all of these things were supposed to be attributes only of humans.
Jane Goodall also discovered chimps, like humans, used tools. She incorporated their distinct personalities and family relationships into her work.
Being out in the wild, you know, back when I dreamed of it, there was nobody doing anything like that.
As her career evolved, Goodall shifted her focus to climate advocacy after witnessing widespread habitat devastation.
To bring up generations of children around the world to be better stewards of the planet and to be more loving of each other.
Her legacy extends across the globe, including Canada. The Jane Goodall Institute's Canadian mandate includes empowering young people and partnering with First Nations.
Jane, in fact, was in Canada just 3 weeks ago, speaking to, thousands and thousands of Canadians, sharing her message of hope.
Goodall married twice and had one son. In 2003, she was appointed a Dame of the British Empire, and she received the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2025. And she worked tirelessly well into old age to reach as many people as possible.
As I travel around the world 300 days a year, I meet so many inspiring people doing amazing things. I see areas that we totally destroyed, that given time or some help, once again, nature will flourish.
Goodall never gave up trying to empower people to do their bit, as she called it, believing millions of people making small changes can make a huge difference for the planet.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is just about 8:30 on your Thursday. Hope your day's off to a great start. Quebec's public security minister is saying a deadly shooting in Laval appears to be linked to organized crime.
We're going to target strategic targets to be sure that the organized crime understand that we're going to be there, we're going to follow them.
A police spokesperson says a man in his 40s died in the brazen shooting. His identity has not been released. Police are not confirming multiple reports that a man nicknamed Bobby the Greek, a high-profile organized crime boss, is the victim here. Police say for now there is no evidence of any innocent bystanders being caught in the crossfire. 2 people have been killed in a violent knife and vehicle attack outside a synagogue in the UK. Police in Manchester were called to the synagogue this morning by a witness who reported seeing a car driving into a group of people. The witness also reported one person has been stabbed during the attack. A third person believed to be the attacker was shot by police. Officers have been unable to confirm whether the suspected attacker was deceased. The attack comes on Yom Kippur, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. The UK Prime Minister, flying home from a European summit, says he's appalled by the attack. Additional officers have been deployed. 1 week after the release of a federal audit that flagged more than $34 million in spending by the FSIN that was questionable, the organization now sharing its side. Keenan Sorokan reports.
The FSIN says it categorically rejects the suggestion that millions of dollars in expenses are unaccounted for. It remains confident and optimistic Indigenous Services Canada will find that all expenditures are eligible. The FSIN has still not agreed to an interview, but sent media a 10-page release responding to each allegation it faces after Indigenous Services Canada flagged more than $34 million of spending as either ineligible, questionable, or unsupported. In the document, the FSIN says it handed over receipts and invoices for everything, but can't go through each expense because Indigenous Services has not provided them the full brief, only the summary that's available online, despite multiple requests. The FSIN alleges KPMG, who performed the audit, gave 10 days to respond to a list of over 700 questions and line items, which KPMG then took 10 weeks to review. The FSIN goes on to say KPMG did not include a number of documents and justifications FSIN provided last month before the summary report came out. The FSIN says it gave invoices and receipts for more than $23 million of COVID-19 funding that was flagged. It says funding flowed through the FSIN to each First Nation, and all spending followed funding agreements and was approved. The FSIN finished by saying it has a robust system of transparency and accountability developed over decades, and says the process followed by KPMG seems intended to set them up for failure. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatchewan fire chief says fire departments are being called upon more often to help manage homeless encampments. North Battleford Fire Chief Lindsay Holm returned recently from the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs Conference in Winnipeg. He says cities across the country are experiencing the same challenges we are.
We also had some good discussion about federal and provincial funding for our organizations, just to be able to mitigate some of the issues that we are having, because it does take a considerable amount of staff time to be able to deal with homelessness and encampments in particular.
Holmes says part of the issue is people living in encampments need alternative options to access safe, low-barrier places to stay. City of Regina conducting its 5th annual point-in-time homeless count today. It's a nationally coordinated effort to better understand the scope and nature of homelessness in our communities. Namarand Housing is leading the charge on this. Trained volunteers will engage with people and come back with a count to hopefully better shape a response to homelessness in our communities. Alberta police say the search for a missing 6-year-old boy has now ended.
Everyone did everything in their power to find Darius, and we will continue to pursue avenues to find him when they arise.
Alberta RCMP wrapped up its formal search for Darius McDougall, who disappeared on a family camping trip 11 days ago. They say they don't believe the young boy is still alive. Darius was reported missing after he didn't return from a walk with the 6 young members of his family on September 21st. The search used drones, aircraft, a dog team, and ground teams made up of RCMP and search and rescue personnel. Police say they will still follow up on public tips and sightings as possible. The Yorkton Airport performed a mock emergency Tuesday. It was in order for the airport to operate. Of course, they need to get certification from Transport Canada every 4 years. And one of the exercises that is required is this.
It's something to remain certified airport we have to do every 4 years for in case of an actual emergency.
Not aware of any incidents at the airport that's required these services in the past. Saskatoon's Midtown Mall reporting a record sales year. The mall's general manager says sales are up 11% from last September, while foot traffic is up nearly 4%, totaling 4.3 million annual visitors. Tara Ferris says the boost is partly due to 3 new stores in the mall and some other stores relocating or renovating. She says the closure of the Bay hasn't had a significant impact.
I think we're holding pretty steady on our own. Certainly the Bay, had its own, customer base, and they will be missed, but we do continue to trend positively.
Ferris, who you just heard from there, says she can't comment on the future of the Bay location, but says there are plans in the works, so stay tuned. Cool video to show you this morning, scary video. Crews in New York inspecting an apartment building in the Bronx after part of it fell off in dramatic fashion.
Billy just fell, huh?
The building's chimney, which runs 20 stories high, fell to the ground yesterday morning. The bricks fell on the sidewalk and a playground while sending dust and debris everywhere. Amazingly, No one injured. That's the great news here. The fire chief says there may have been an explosion in a boiler shaft. They're working to determine the exact cause. And some incredible video now to show you of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, the latest eruption. The volcano began erupting just after midnight, sending fountains of molten rock 100 meters into the air. This eruptive activity is confined to a crater in the national park and will not impact any air traffic. Located 322 kilometers south of Honolulu, Kilauea is the most active volcano in the world, with this being the 34th in a string of recent eruptions, and it provides incredible video. Rodney Dangerfield famously went back to school back in 1986. Decades later, it's no longer unusual to see older students heading back to college. But this morning, we're meeting one student who's not only back in the classroom, he's hoping to get back on the football field. Danny New reports.
This season at Lycoming College, the Warriors are being graced with what you might call a veteran presence.
To overstate the obvious, it was a now or never moment.
At 58 years old, defensive lineman Tom Sillo is trying to become the oldest college football player to see the field in more than a decade.
I just need a change. And what better way to make a change than to go play college football, right?
That's his head coach on the left there, Mike Clark. He's 54 years old.
Is this the most unique situation you've ever had with a player?
I think it's safe to say that, yeah, absolutely.
Coach Clark acknowledges that his chances of seeing the field are not very large, but going into this, he knew Tom's strengths. For example, Tom has strength literally, as he can deadlift 600 pounds. But also, as you can hear in that video, Tom has emerged as a leader and mentor on the team, even earning a nickname from his much younger teammates.
They call me Sneaky T. Sneaky T, and honestly, I kind of like it.
Handoff, Book being wrapped up from behind, but Baya fell forward, ball's loose.
Tom says he has stiff competition in the trenches, and it has not been as easy as he thought. In fact, in training camp, he had to sit out a few days with multiple bruised ribs and broken fingers.
I didn't walk into Staples and smack the easy button. I signed up for college football.
Well, whether or not Tom sees the field, he's already made history after just reaching an agreement with the pain relief cream Asper Cream to become the oldest player to sign a name, image, and likeness deal. And in a freshman game recently, Tom got to play a few snaps. He's wearing number 40 there, and he says the crowd erupted when he entered the game ready for his chance.
It was kind of surreal, and I will never forget it.
Tom also said that his 90-year-old mother has been coming to the games to cheer on the team. Can you imagine the level of noise she will produce if he gets to play in one of these games? Coach Mike, I don't want to tell you to do your job, but please let him play. Please, 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 please. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Oh, good luck to him, too. Excuse me, the Regina Pats still looking for the first win of the season.
Down below the goal line for Edmonton. Hodnett walks his way up top, hands it off to Yeko. To the side of the net, centering pass, they score. What a play by Yeko.
Good time to pick up a cough there, isn't it? The Edmonton Oil Kings staved off a late surge from the Pats to pick up a 4-3 win. Pats head coach Brad Haroff says the team really beat itself.
I think just self-inflicted again. You know, the goals they did score, I thought, were direct results of our giveaways or just poor play with the puck. Thought Merrick was really well. I thought he played really good tonight when he had to make his saves. But the chances that we gave him when they scored their goals those are on individuals.
Pats back in action Saturday in Swift Current. Good. Now somebody can make a GIF or a GIF or however you want to say it out of me coughing on air. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great?
Be nice to Daryl, everybody.
I'll probably make it myself.
I might make it for you.
What's going on?
Well, we've got some beautiful weather ahead of us here. As you can see behind me in Regina, that sun is out. We are seeing a beautiful start to our Thursday. 8 degrees currently here in the Queen City, so we are starting to see that temperature climb quite a bit, much higher than what we were seeing when we started off the morning. Now in Saskatoon, 4 degrees. That haze has completely cleared up for the most part. We are expecting to see that sun stay out in Saskatoon as well. So beautiful sunny days in both cities. Now over to our future cast here for today. We were seeing a little bit of that rain moving through the north end of the province here. It'll be a little bit cloudy as we roll on here through today, but for the most part today and into tomorrow as well, we've got warm and mainly clear skies ahead of us. For our current temperatures, Stony Rapids 4 degrees, Buffalo Narrows 7, La Ronge 10 degrees, South End 8, Spiritwood 9, and Hudson Bay 10. Battleford's still at about that 2-degree mark. Kindersley up to 3 degrees. Swift Current 8. Saskatoon again 4. Wynyard sitting at about 9 with Yorkton. And we've got Weyburn and Estevan. 8 and 9 degrees. Now let's move over to our highs today for the province. Battleford's again seeing a little bit of that haze as we start off this Thursday morning, but that'll clear. 17 degrees as the high. Now Prince Albert also seeing about 17 for the high, but much sunnier skies to start off their morning. For Moose Jaw, 24 degrees. Swift Current 22. Weyburn 26, along with Estevan and Yorkton 23. Now for our 5-day forecast here in Regina. Again, we'll be hitting about that 24-degree mark for today as our high. A little bit of cloud in the sky, but for the most part, mainly sunny. Now, tomorrow is when we'll start to see those clouds really start to gather. Some precipitation is on the way. 22 degrees as the high. We've got a beautiful weekend, though. Saturday, 17 degrees, and on Sunday, 9. Now, by the time we get into Monday, once again, we will be seeing that temperature drop and experiencing about -2 as our low for Monday. Now, for Saskatoon, 21 as the high today. Once that haze clears up, that sun is fully going to be out. So we've got Friday and Saturday as well. Plenty of sunny skies ahead of us. So we've got 16 degrees as the high on Saturday, 10 on Sunday. By the time we get to Monday, again, a little bit of a cooler evening on Monday night at about -3 degrees. All right, and your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is holiday. Head to the contest page on our website, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Canada's top home cooks ready to battle it out in the MasterChef Canada kitchen.
Here's a tip. People always say salt your pasta water like the sea. That would be at like 6% salinity. That's crazy. Do about half of that. You're going to be fine.
Make sure your pan is hot before you put your food inside. Always taste your food.
Add a splash of white wine vinegar in your mashed potatoes to make them taste way brighter.
Cutting herbs, roll them really tight, and then when you cut them,
I'm familiar with this season. MasterChef Canada fans have waited a long time for this. The hit show returns tonight here on CTV, and we are speaking with the judges, Hugh Atchison, Mary Berg, and Craig Wong this morning as we welcome him in from Toronto. Thank you so much for doing this. Mary, we'll start with you. How excited are you to step back into the kitchen that you once competed in, this time as a judge?
Honestly, Daryl, it's absolutely surreal stepping back into that kitchen. Goosebumps for sure. It was absolutely amazing, though, and knowing that I'm going to be a small part of these home cooks' journey is just an absolute thrill.
Craig, tell us about some of these characters that you've gathered this season.
Oh, there's some laughs that we've had, and there's some tasty food, and there's some not so tasty food that they've created. There's so many personalities, and you know, we tend to fall in love with all of the candidates that come in and all the competitors. But these home cooks, they're putting their passion and their hearts into the food that they're cooking. So yeah, it's really enjoyable to see them.
Hugh, how much fun has it been for you as an author, as someone who is fairly celebrated in your industry, to go in and guide and mentor some of these new home cooks that we're going to see tonight at 8 on CTV?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally interesting to see this vast array of people from Canada, who are just from all over the place, and try and figure out what their particular skill sets and really coach them to be cooking from the heart and put their story of their lives on a plate, not them on a plate. That's awkward. And cook us great food, and they did that. And there's some times when they didn't.
Of course, that's why we watch. Craig, what do you want people to take away from this show?
Oh, good question. I want everyone to understand that, you know, home cooking is something that we should all be passionate about, and something that we should all put a little bit of effort into. And these people are living out their dreams, and it's something that we can all do a little bit better of a job at home.
Mary, you've been in their shoes. How difficult is it for you to to give feedback? I mean, you've turned this journey of yours into a business, a show here on the network, 2 shows now. How hard is it to to give feedback, or some of these people are probably aspiring to be you?
It is really hard when you are looking into someone's eyes as you're eating the food that they've spent time creating, and to give them that honest feedback. But I think it's necessary, because making mistakes in the kitchen is where you learn. And I will say that a lot of these home cooks definitely had learning lessons throughout their time in the kitchen. But it was really, really great to see. Definitely a little bit flashbacky for me, a little kind of intimidating in that sense, but it was really, really fun.
Hugh, why did you want to do the show?
You know, it's just so fun to really immerse yourself in Canadian culture and just figure out what inspires all these people from so many different backgrounds. And to me, it's the showcasing of the mosaic that's so strong and that meshes this country together.
Mary, there is a chef from Saskatchewan, from Regina, in this season. How proud are we about to be of this person?
I think Saskatchewan's going to be well represented. I'm feeling very, very good. I mean, Saskatchewan in all the seasons of MasterChef Canada, and every time they've appeared, have really kicked some butt. So we'll see what this season has in store.
Yeah, shout out to Josh Miller, the bearded prairie chef. He's still doing his thing here around Saskatchewan, doing great work. Who is, by a pointing of fingers, who is the mean judge this season? I don't see any fingers pointing.
I think we're all honest. I don't think any of us are the mean ones. I think we give great feedback and direct feedback as well, too. And I think we were really clear on when there was expectations met and when they weren't met as well.
Listen, I'd be most scared of disappointing Craig Wong. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Guys, I hope you had so much fun creating this, and good luck along the way. We will be watching here, of course, in CTV Saskatchewan tonight, following Hell's Kitchen on CTV Saskatchewan on the network at 8 p.m.
Thanks so much.
If you need time, just take your time. I get it. Way you got me all in my head. It's so strange, this I never do. Not that I miss you, I don't. Sometimes I just can't believe you happened.
Canada's National Day of Truth and Reconciliation was Tuesday, of course. We want to take you to the community of Yorkton, find out how they marked the day with Virginia DeClute.
Residents in Yorkton gather to remember the children, families, and communities affected by the residential school system on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
When we first started our orange shirt walk, there was probably only about 30 people in our walk. Now we've grown to about 800 people.
Among the crowd are survivors and their families. Both of Dawn Sinclair's parents were sent to residential schools. She says people need to talk, teach, and acknowledge what happened.
Because we don't want people to forget that these types of schools existed, and we never want to see them happen again to any population, not just Indigenous. But everybody should be able to grow up in their own homes with love and support and body autonomy.
The memorial walk started at the Yorkton Tribal Council's building on King Street and ended with speeches at the City Centre Park.
Because for some people who can't make it, we still want them to experience it. We still want them to see it. We still want them to question, what's going on over there? Why is everybody wearing orange shirts?
She hopes that people start wearing the orange shirt on other days as well.
It doesn't just have to be on September 30th.
The Tribal Council offers programs and materials to anyone, but Sinclair says it's important to look at the human stories.
But there's tons of people that still have experiences that they can share with other people. They're still here, they're still walking around.
Ensuring that the memories of the children lost in the residential school system live on. Virginia DeClute, CTV News, Yorkton.
Frankenstein comes alive. This is a glimpse at Jacob Elordi's portrayal of the resurrected monster in Guillermo del Toro's take on the Mary Shelley novel. Oscar Isaac co-stars in the tense new film, which will have a limited theatrical release on October 17th before arriving on Netflix on November 7th.
I want success. Get it for me.
Demi Moore and Billy Bob Thornton face more oil drama. We have your first look at season 2 of the hit drama Landman. The pair of stars will continue tackling the pressures of a Texas oil boom as new episodes premiere on November 16th on Paramount+.
Walton over the right shoulder, right down the center, sir.
Walton Goggins is heading to video games. The actor will now portray his character from the TV series Fallout in the video game series from which the show is based. The Ghoul will be a major addition for the popular multiplayer game Fallout 76 and will be part of the upcoming Burning Springs expansion. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
There are many things in life that are more valuable than money.
For one Vancouver record store owner, a long-lost Beatles demo tape led him to an unforgettable meeting with his idol. Here's Shannon Patterson.
In the 44 years he's owned Neptune Records, Rob Frith has bought a lot of random music collections.
Someone came in about 10 years ago, and they had a couple of reel-to-reel tapes. And it just said Beatles early demos with a question mark.
Frith figured it was likely a bootleg copy, so it sat behind the desk at Neptune for a decade until this spring when he booked a studio that had a reel-to-reel player.
We put the tape on, and we thought we'd be hearing like record noise or whatever, and it was like the Beatles were in the room with us.
He posted videos of the 15-song demo on Instagram, and the story blew up.
What we determined after researching everything and having it checked by professionals, we had the actual original master tape that the Beatles recorded January 1st, 1962. It was an audition tape for Decca Records.
It didn't take long for the story to reach Sir Paul McCartney, who invited Rob and his family to Los Angeles 2 weeks ago, where the Friths would give him the tape in person.
I was one that got to hand it over to him, and it was pretty wild. Just weird kind of being like, and here it is.
This is stuff that Paul signed for us.
While the Friths were asked not to take photos of their meeting, Sir Paul did autograph some Beatles memorabilia for them.
We are looking at my signed copy of Sgt. Pepper's.
The family had lunch with the superstar and even sat in on a rehearsal session.
The four of us got to sit there and have a full set of Paul McCartney and his band playing, and we're the only ones in the audience in the rehearsal space. It was mind-blowing.
He came up behind my mom and goes, "Hi, Vicky, how are you today?" And I thought I saw her soul exit her body right about then.
The Friths know an original Beatles demo reel could have fetched a tidy sum at auction.
And then that tape would have sat in some millionaire or billionaire's basement, never to be looked at again. And, what good is it there?
What they got was better than money.
I got paid in that I got to meet Paul McCartney. That was good enough for me.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
You can just keep holding it.
See, they keep finding things, right? Like old lost demo tapes, dinosaurs in caves that I would just think are rocks.
Yep, there's lots of treasures. You just got to look for them.
There's one. Found one. Janelle Lippi. Let's get to your sidebar. They say the older you get, the more stubborn you can be. Well, that goes the same for some dogs.
Let's see. Dookie, honey, you can't have that. We never know. Duke? Oh, boy. Well, he took the laundry basket again.
So this is Duke, and like many dogs, he has items he's particularly comfortable around. But instead of toys, he likes random household objects. So the whiteboard and the laundry basket. What's he going to bring out now? Oh, Mom's purse. Yeah, that's good.
He's prepared.
As a proud golden retriever owner, I hope my disco starts doing this.
Yep.
But for now, it's just he tries to eat socks. So many little kids' socks.
Yep. Well,
what's that one? Is that a hairdryer?
I think that's a. Oh, it's.
Don't find China. Wicker basket.
I love this. Look at that face. You'd just be like, let it happen.
Duke, have all of the things.
Have all the things.
Have all of the things.
That's precious. All right, well, do we have enough time for this? All right, police in California have made a bizarre traffic stop, and that's kind of a sign of the times. So they pulled over a Waymo
autonomous vehicle, one of these self-driving cars.
Wait.
We don't have those here.
Okay, so they made an illegal U-turn.
Okay.
But if no one is behind the wheel, there is no one to ticket. So California lawmakers are now working on creating rules for ticketing self-driving vehicles.
As they should.
As they should. So, I mean, I don't know. What would you do in this situation?
I'd kick the car, probably.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's owned by Google. They're working on reprogramming the car so they don't make illegal moves in the future. I think they should have probably maybe identified that to begin with.
I would probably say so.
Would you take one? Would you take us?
No.
I have friends that have done it. They're like, it's so weird.
I don't think I could do it.
So weird.
I don't know.
It's the future. It's coming.
It is coming, but it freaks me out.
That'd be great. It's the 3 a.m. drive to work. You just get a couple extra Z's.
Well, if you
I've seen you
pitch it
drive.
like
You
that.
should have one of those. Let's petition to get you one of those. Time out. We got about a 20-hour break. We're back tomorrow with your Friday edition of Your Morning Saskatchewan.